Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Steven, aka Horror Freak 85, back with another video here. I still haven't gotten my horror pack, and I found out that it was sent out the other day, some late payment ones. So I decided to do another video, which I did with my Blu-rays of all my horror movies. So today I'm going to do it with the DVDs. There might be a couple of them in there that are either sci-fi more than horror, a couple of comedy ones, a musical one, so it may not all be strictly horror, but there's still some good movies I decided to throw on in there. And I decided to wear my Nightmare on Elm Street shirt here, which I got at Walmart after Halloween. When it went down, they were selling them for like $3. I got Michael Myers and Jason too. Alright, so what we got here, Tales from the Crypt, the television show, which they're supposed to be doing another one soon, M. Night Shyamalan. Hopefully they don't ruin it. I hope it's going to be good, but we'll see. And then also I've met John Kassir quite a few times, so I had him sign the Crypt Keeper right there. He's a really cool guy. He also did the voice of Buster Bunny on Tiny Toon Adventures, so quite diverse there. Alright, I'm going to go through these as quick as I can. I might read a couple of backs for ones that I got at conventions and independent movies, so I'll let you know what they're about when I get to those. I guess I'm just grabbing the TV show ones here. Scream, which I liked it. It was a decent show. Maybe I'll do a review on it later if you want to know about it. I just don't think it should have been called Scream. It should have been something else, but it did have a good story to it. Stephen King's Nightmares and Dreamscapes. Like I said, not strictly horror, but a classic there. Rocky Horror Picture Show and the sequel Shock Treatment. More Tales from the Crypt Season 2, which I need to get the rest of the seasons. Got a steelbook here. This one was Dark Moon Thriller Collection. Let's see what it had on there. Fangs of the Living Dead, Grave of the Vampire. Let's see if it had the year on there, because some of these are older. The Devil's Nightmare, Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory, Werewolf of Washington, Moon of the Wolf, Zombie Hell House, Night of the Living Dead, and that's the original one with Judith O'Dea. Let's see, Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price, White Zombie with Bela Lugosi, Revolt of the Zombies. So yeah, you got some older actors on there. Vincent Price, David Jensen, Bela Lugosi, and more. So some classic horror movies there. Soul Survivors. I think I showed this on Blu-ray, but I had it first on DVD, Repo the Genetic Opera, which I have met a bunch of people from the show. Bill Moseley, Terrence, oh, I can't think of his name, from Skinny Puppy, who was Pavi in it. So, got that. Probably have on Blu-ray too. Some of these I might have duplicates of before I upgraded to Blu-ray. Alien vs. Predator. Scream Trilogy before the fourth one came out, box set. Prophecy 2 with Christopher Walken. Tales from the Dark Side, the television show. First season. Then I got the second and third. I don't have the fourth yet. I think the fourth was the final one. There was a movie, Tales from the Dark Side, that they did. Christian Slater was in an episode, and I can't remember who else was in there, but there were a few good tales. A guy who sees a gargoyle isn't supposed to tell. The one with Christian Slater, a mummy comes to life, starts pulling out the brain of people with a hook, because that's how they used to involve mummies. Getting off track here, but Creepshow 2. Michael J. Fox, The Frighteners. Alien vs. Predator. This was the first one. The other one was Requiem. Stephen King's The Dead Zone. Another Christopher Walken. Stephen King's Needful Things. The glare's kind of bad. Sorry about that. More of a comedy, but I like it. Once Bitten with Jim Carrey. The First Prophecy. Stephen King's Secret Window. "30 Days of Night." Adam Green's Hatchet 2. I have all three of them. I have the third on Blu-ray and the first couple on DVD. I think I've upgraded one of them also, but I have all three of them. Adam Green's awesome, as I've mentioned before, with Holliston, and there's another movie in here, Spiral, that I'll be getting to. I actually won that at a convention for answering a question that was asked about Holliston. All right, then Planet Terror, and I got it signed by Rose McGowan. Met her when she was in Orlando. Let's see. I got Stephen King's Desperation. Forget what this was. I think this was one of the 8 films to die for that I had misplaced the case. Sorry, I'm going to set it down for just a second. My fan looks like a flying saucer. Okay, here we go. After Dark Horror Fest, The Abandoned, which I'll just show you. Now, if you don't know what those are, there's a bunch of 8 films to die for. There's different volumes. I forget how many they did, but if you get a chance, there's some good ones. I think like Tooth and Nail was one of them. Butterfly Effect 3. I can't even remember them all. Look them up if you're interested. There are all these different movies in collections. American Werewolf in Paris. Stephen King collection here. Dreamcatcher, Shawshank Redemption, and The Shining. Okay, here's one that I got at a convention here. It was called The Tripper, Unrated Director's Cut. Move Over, Jason, Look Out, Freddy, Here's Ronnie. It says, wow, I can barely read that back. That's some bad. Gloriously Grisly. The Tripper is a... Wow, this writing is so tiny on the back here, and it's kind of weird to read. I might just do a review on it if you're interested. I don't think I've watched it yet, so I'm going to have to check this out. Oh, it looks like it's an After Dark. Actually, it's an After Dark movie. It says that at the bottom there, After Dark. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to check that out later. If you do want me to do a review on it, if you're interested what it's about, just let me know in the comments. Then I got Maniac, the 1980s Special Edition, which I don't have the cover for, but I'll show you the disc here. Where he was photographer was killing women and scalping them, putting on mannequins. Really good movie. The gorier the better, which I think it even says disturbingly tale known for its graphic violence. And I got Dawn of the Dead, the original. Frailty, which has Bill Paxton in it, who had passed away earlier this week, a few days ago, I think. He was also in Alien, Twister, Titanic, Predator. He was actually killed by a Terminator, a Predator, Predator, and an Alien. Game over, man. Game over. Alright. Let's see. Then we got The Faculty. Evil Dead musical, which is really funny. If you've never seen it, should look up the music or YouTube it. Kingdom Hospital, Stephen King. It was a miniseries. There's a couple cases to them. The other one's probably in there. Let's see. Party Line, which I can actually read the back of this one. It says, brother and sister Seth, Leif Garrett, and Angelina Benson Oh, I'm sorry. I read that. Brother and sister Seth and Angelina Benson, and she's played by Greta Blackburn, have found the perfect killing web, an X-rated phone chat service known as the Party Line, but the killing machine is thwarted when police detective Dan Bridges, Richard Hatch, launches a relentless investigation into the death of his girlfriend. Which I can't even remember if I watched that one or not. I know that was one I got at a convention. Let's see, coming up on 10 minutes here. Going faster here. Roswell. Stephen King's The Tommyknockers. Rob Zombie's Halloween, which I met a bunch of the cast. I got to sign it. Stephen King's The Mist, which I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending, oh my god, it's so messed up. Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. There's the first Hatchet right there. Adam Green. Kane Hodder plays Victor Crowley. Joyride. What's funny is a friend of mine told me that I remind her of Steve Zahn, which I don't see it. Actually, National Security, someone has mentioned it too. Like, oh, do you look like it when he's in National Security? Usually when I have my mustache, I need to shave, but I get that sometimes. Speaking of Paul Walker, well, from Joyride, Steve Zahn was in that. Also, getting off track here, sorry. Monster in the Closet, which I haven't even opened it yet. I need to watch this. It's a trauma movie, and I believe Paul Walker plays the kid in it, and this was his very first movie right here, I was told. So I'm gonna, actually, I'll put this aside and check it out, and if you want a review on that, I may do it. I still got to watch Cell Count, which I said that I would do a review for. Let's see. Cat People. Yeah, this is just a comedy here, but I just threw it in there. Teen Wolf 1 and 2, and which I met James Hampton, who played the dad in the first Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox. I've met him a couple times. Texas Frightmare, and actually I think they were both at Texas Frightmare. Okay, there's the other Kingdom Hospital part of the miniseries. Joyride 2. You got a Steelbook of Sweeney Todd, which Alan Rickman is also in that, who passed away, who was, of course, Professor Snape in Harry Potter and Die Hard. I think the name was Hans Gruber. If I'm wrong, just say so in the comments. It's been forever since I watched the first Die Hard, but I know he was the main bad guy in it. And Monster Squad, and I think this is the 20th anniversary edition. Great show, or movie. And I wish I could go to Horror Hound, because like almost everybody who was in that's going to be there, but unfortunately I can't make it. Stephen King's 1408. House on Haunted Hill. Stephen King's Salem's Lot. Stephen King's It. Alyssa Milano in Embrace of the Vampire. Stephen King's Cat's Eye, which I believe was a couple different stories on there, and Drew Barrymore was in that. And it looks like, is that James Woods? Robert Hayes is in it. Cujo, Jewel Denial, blah, blah, blah. In Order of Apparent, yep, Drew Barrymore, James Woods, Alan King, Kenneth McGillen, Robert Hayes, Candy Clark. So, all right. Bride of Chucky. This one's kind of a sci-fi one, a little more than horror, but The Final Cut with Robin Williams, where people have their whole lives recorded, and he watches them and edits together whenever they die. Communion. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Kane Hodder, the BTK Killer. Claire Kramer in The Mummy and the Armadillo, which I've known her for a long time now. I've been going to conventions for years. I started out going to Buffy ones, so she signed it for me. There's another movie I got signed from her too, a vampire movie. I'll get to that. It's in this box somewhere. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, Billy Zane, and of course John Cassier is the Crypt Keeper. William Sadler is in it as well. Oh, and I believe Jada Pinkett Smith was also in it. I don't see her name. Blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure she was in it, though, but I'm not going to take up too much time reading it. Coming up to 16 minutes here, and still quite a few to go. This is a movie I got at a convention, Camp Dread. Tiffany Shep has signed it for me. Danielle Harris is also in this here. I'll go ahead and read the back real quick. The Summer Camp Horror Trilogy was one of the most popular movie franchises of the 1980s. However, the decade ended, and so did the director Julian Barrett's career. Now Barrett plans to resurrect his gory series via a modern reboot, patent after reality filmmaking. With his former leading lady and an electric group of 10 young contestants, Barrett returns to the same locale where his old Splatterfests were filmed. When one of the campers is found savagely murdered, they discover there's more at stake than just fame and fortune. Each of them fight for their lives as they realize summer is over forever. Stephen King's Christine. Stephen King's The Stand. Now, this was a TV show that was on Fox, Point Pleasant, where she was, I believe she was the devil's daughter in it. See, supernatural and deadly impact. She has the people around her. Yeah, she has a choice between good and to be good or evil. Been a long time since I watched it. I remember how the series ended, and I was disappointed because I thought there was going to be more. Stephen King's Heart in Atlantis. Creepshow. Lawnmower Man. Stephen King's Dolores Claiborne. The Diary of Ellen Rimbar. I think that's how you say it. But another Stephen King one, which is the prequel to Rose Red. Dead Hooker in a Trunk, which is Jen and Sylvia Soska's first movie that they did, who did American Mary. They got the TV show Elevator right now. They also did See No Evil 2, ABCs of Death, American Mary. So, yeah, this was their first one here, which I really enjoyed it. It had action, killing, gore. Oh, they also did Vendetta. They directed that with Dean Cain and the wrestler, The Big Show. But yeah, this was really good, Dead Hooker in a Trunk. So this is their first one. You should check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Look it up, or it's even just worth buying. Even Eli Roth, which I totally agree, says it's fucking awesome. So there you go. There's on the back there. Spirit Camp. I got this at a convention they were selling, and I met a couple of the casts. Scary, funny, sexy. When a street-smart goth girl is forced to attend cheer camp as part of her rehabilitation from a juvenile correction facility, she clashes with the popular girls and finds herself embroiled in a bitter rivalry with the bitchy ringleader. But when members of the Spirit Squad start turning up dead, the girls must put aside their differences as they struggle to survive the murderous rage of a crazed psycho killer lurking among them. Starring Brendan Smith, Jeepers Creepers, No Country for Old Men. Let's see, Roxy Vanderveer, Witchcraft 13, and Marco Perella, Sin City. Which I probably butcher names. I tend to do that. Emma Caulfield from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Darkness Falls, with the Tooth Fairy. Death Proof, which I got signed by Zoe Bell there, the stunt girl. She did her own stunts, rode the car, everything. She was pretty cool. Oh, yeah, and who else was that I had signed it there? Oh, Jordan Ladd. Yeah, she was also in Death Proof there. One of them that died in the car crash. Whoop, spoiler alert. All right. I got this at a convention too. It's got Nicholas Brendon, Tiffany Shepis, Robert Prego, again butchering names, sorry. He was the mayor in Vampire Diaries, who I had met him a couple of times. So I got a bunch of the cast to sign it there. This was at Days of the Dead. I got the directors sign it, all of them. Most of it, there were a couple I think that were pre-signed, or they all signed it, I forget. But yeah, that was pretty cool. It's in the working class town of Morningside, New Jersey. Sheriff Tom Hulk, who's played by Robert, that was the mayor of the Vampire Diaries, maintains a quiet peace. When desecrated corpse and ritualistic symbols start appearing, Tom and his deputy, Clara Austin, Tiffany Shepis, exit to hell, are thrust into an unreal world of darkness. While tracking the killer, Tom comes face to face with his past as he crosses paths with the deadly serious local drug runners and watches as his closest friend Mark, Nicholas Brendon from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, struggle to care for his ailing wife. With time running out and bodies piling up, the officer embark on a desperate race against the clock, pitting the two against friends, enemies, and even each other. Skulls trilogy. This was a TV show, not horror, more sci-fi, but was really good. Steven Spielberg's Taken, which basically goes across years of these families and their interactions with each other. Some were abducted by aliens. Dakota Fanning is like part alien in it. Julie Benz from Buffy is in it. Steven Spielberg presents an epic entertainment event spanning 3 families, 4 generations, and 50 years of unearthly secrets, with cutting-edge special effects and storyline gripping otherworldly purpose. Taken launches you into a realm of alien abductions and deadly conspiracies, reaching from World War II to the present, an extraordinary chronicle of humankind's relationship to the mysterious extraterrestrials in our midst. The visionary adventures being hailed as the best television series since HBO's Band of Brothers. It's pretty interesting because besides the fictional stories, they kind of use like actual UFO history in it, and certain things are facts mixed in with the fiction, so it's pretty cool. Been a while since I've watched it, but Cannibal the Musical. Jennifer's Body, which I believe I got on Blu-ray too, but there you go. I don't remember putting that in there, but Sin City's in there. I'll probably just toss it in there because of Jamie King. I just wanted to keep it autographed DVDs together. Lost Boys. Met a bunch of the cast too there. Corey Aim, who passed away, of course. I mean, not Corey Aim. Was it Corey Aim? Yeah, Corey Aim. I was thinking Corey Feldman. Brooke McCarter, who also passed away, who played Paul. Dude, you killed the one that looked like Twisted Sister. And dude, this video is up to 23 minutes. If you're still watching it, wow, I'm impressed. Another Tiffany Shepis, Voodoo for Hoodoo, or Hoodoo for Voodoo. I'm saying it backwards. Hoodoo for Voodoo, director's cut. When a group of college kids win a trip to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, they soon find themselves on a roller coaster ride of survival as bodies drop left and right. When the workers at a local voodoo tourist trap suddenly begin turning up dead, the group must band together and stay alive to figure out who is behind the most wicked plot. But hey, who can be inconvenienced at the biggest party of the year? Tremors Anthology, all 5 of them. Rock Bottom Creek, which I haven't even watched yet, another independent movie there. Rock Bottom Creek follows the journey of a couple who are recovering from hard times when they decide to take a road trip to escape their past. They soon find out that their troubles... Oh, gosh, allergy, excuse me. In their past, they soon find out that their troubles have just begun. After a kidnapping and several murders, the local sheriff begins to suspect that the couple may be hiding some vital information. Excuse me a second. Oh, itching my nose here. My allergies starting to act up. I'm sorry. House Guest with Alex Vincent from Child's Play. A vicious murderer is on the loose and the entire city is on edge. It's perfect evening for Rob Murphy, Alex Vincent, star of Child's Play 1 and 2, and Jen Murphy, Marilyn, not sure how to say her last name, sorry, I'm not going to butcher it, to lock the doors and have a night at home with some friends. But what happens if one of the guests you've invited is in fact the brutal killer that the city is fearing? House Guest is a tense thriller that locks you inside the doors of the Murphy home, where new relationships are formed, a father and son's bond is tested, and a brother and sister struggle to stay alive. let's see, Scream Dreams and Scream Dreams 2, which was some independent movies that they had just filmed and sold at the convention here. White Noise 2, Idle Hands, I'm trying to speed up a little bit, Darkman 2, Zombies, 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 which this actually came out before Strippers vs. Zombies. Met the cast there at, it was either the FX show or MegaCon, which I'll just show you the inside here. That's me with the cast there, the main three. Alright, we got Among Friends, Danielle Harris, Jennifer Blanc, Kane Hodder. I'll go ahead and a close-knit group of friends get together for an 80s themed murder mystery party. Crim Tear and pastel suits, they rule the night until the friends soon discover that they've been poisoned, resulting in a perilous from the waist down. Hostess Bernadette reveals her plan to create an honest environment in which her friends can come clean about their transgressions against one another. In a cat-and-mouse game of question and answer, Bernadette doles out punishment as it is required, and before the night is over, issues of morality, integrity, and friendships will be challenged, chopped, and nailed to the table for all to consider. Pieces of Talent, which this was a good one. I gotta go back and watch it. It's got Christy Ray in it. Well, it doesn't really say what it's about on the back there. And intelligent and clever written, okay. Basically, it's just some credit about it. But what it is, she wants to be an actress, and she meets David Long, and he does videos, and she doesn't know that he's a killer, and there's some twists that go on to there. I'll do a review if you want me to. Just put it in the comments. I will have to rewatch it, though, to refresh my memory. Child's Play, signed by Alex Vincent, who was Andy, of course. I got it tossed in there, but Nightmare Before Christmas, signed by Chris Sarandon. I was his PA at Spooky Empire. More of a comedy than horror, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original, 1992, and signed by Christy Swanson. Another one with Tiffany Shepis, who I got signed, Wrath of the Crows. In a dirty, squalid, narrow jail, prisoners are forced to suffer injustice both from their guards and ruling officer. Feared by all, however, is a man nobody has ever seen, the judge. When new prisoner Princess arrives, seemingly out of nowhere and dressed only in a crow's feather coat, her radiant and sensual appearance begins to cause not only curiosity, but also envy, suspicion, and a deep sexual agitation. Soon, Princess reveals her dark and supernatural nature, moving objects through the power of her mind and displaying feats of otherworldly strengths. And there's that there. Sorry for the glare. Grim Reaper. That was kind of quick. Grim Reaper. I like this one, which I've heard they're supposed to be doing a sequel to it, hopefully, Behind the Mask. The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Stephen King's Cujo. Fear Clinic, which is a good one. Robert Englund, Danielle Harris, Thomas Dekker, which it was a short web series, which they made a movie. Stephen King's Silver Bullet. Death Plots with Holly Winnard, who was on Beauty and the Geek. There's 4 different stories on here of death. Death Plots, 4 Tales of the Grim Reaper, contains 4 short movies about death. I think I started this. This was a long time ago at MegaCon that I had picked this up. If you want me to do a review on it, let me see how long this is. Runtime, oh, it's about 2 hours. Okay, that's a pretty decent movie. But maybe I'll do a review on this if you want me to, since I don't know where you can find this, if it'll be online or if it was just sold at conventions. Stephen King's Rose Red. glare's annoying. I'm sorry. Clockwork Orange with Malcolm McDowell. Stephen King's Carrie. Stephen King's Children of the Corn, which I believe was in Horror Pack also. I got that upgraded to Blu-ray. Stephen King's Misery. Stephen King's Storm of the Century. Return to House on Haunted Hill, which I got on Blu-ray. I didn't even remember having that, but that's okay. And again, The Grudge, which I said I had, but I updated it to Blu-ray. That was in my pawn shop pickup video. Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive. Cry Wolf Unrated, which is pretty interesting. Jeff Wadlow, who directed that, directed the movie Never Back Down, which I was an extra in that, which was filmed in Orlando. That was pretty fun. So I got to meet that director and work with him. The Final Destinations in a 4-pack. An old TV show, Vampire High. Slither with Nathan Fillion. Oh, here's the Tales from the Dark Side movie that I was telling you about earlier. You might be able to see Christian Slater on the cover there. Yeah, he's going to be right next to that woman there. There we go. Yeah, Christian Slater episode. I'm almost done. Now that we're over 30 minutes, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Stephen King's The Shining. 2-pack of, I think this was Dawn of the Dead and Land of the Dead. The new ones, or newer. This was the Adam Green movie I was telling you about, Spiral. Joel David Moore from Dodgeball stars with Zachary Levi, who played in Chuck, and Amber Tamberlin, Joan of Arcadia, and The Grudge 2, is the harrowing story of a shy and possibly disturbed painter and telemarketer. His arrogant longtime friend and boss, and the carefree new co-worker whose love may offer a portrait of normalcy, but in a life scarred by dark secrets, can the truth be the most horrifying pose of all? Tricia Helfer of Battlestar Galactica co-stars in this acclaimed psychological shocker, co-directed by Adam Green and more. I forgot Tricia was in that. Alright, here's the other movie I was telling you about with Claire Kramer, The Thirst, which that's the slipcover there, which also had her sign that one. This was a good movie where she was a vampire. Welcome to the urban underworld of pleasure and pain, where flesh-fueled slaughter is the ultimate high. Matt Kessler of Dune and Claire Kramer of Buffy the Vampire Slayer star as a pair of recovering drug addicts recruited by a clan of sex and gore-crazed vampires led by the charismatic madman Darius, Jeremy Sisto of 6 Feet Under. But as each depraved fix leads them deeper into hell, what will be the final price of the most horrific addiction of all? Adam Baldwin, Serenity co-stars, and the shocker from director of The Attic Expedition and All Souls Day, and the producers of Room 6, House of the Dead 2, and The Dark Room. So that's that one there. There's just 4 more in here, so I'm counting down here. Voodoo Moon with Charisma Carpenter, who was Cordelia in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I had no idea this was going to be this long. Killing Mr. Right, which I met the lead actress at a convention. That's you might be able to find this movie online or at a convention. It says, convinced her roommate's new fiancé is the man who abducted and raped her, a young law student suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, takes justice into her own hands as she exacts revenge. But does she have the right man? Elizabeth Jackson and Carrie Byer star in this disturbing revenge thriller that pushes the limits of sadism, giving a whole new meaning to the phrase cruel and unusual punishment. This one's Dead Inside. It's a musical about this author who's writing this zombie book. It's pretty interesting. Last one here. You got Darkman. I thought I had Darkman 2 died around somewhere in here. but that's the last one in there. Okay, coming up to 35 minutes. If you stuck around this long, thank you very much. If you want to see a review on any of those movies, let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. If you're new, welcome to the channel. And that'll be it until I get my horror pack.